However, quantitative analysis is very vitally important for research and publication. If you're an academic and if you're in market research for the corporate world. IBM's Spss Amos, I think, is the next level. And it's a powerful structural equation modeling software helping to support research and theories by extending that standard multivariate analysis methods, including regression, factor analysis, correlation, and analysis of variance. I guess it's built on this attitudinal and behavioral models reflecting complex relationships more accurately than your standard multivariate statistics. And it's very intuitive program. And as Dr. Allen takes you through the Amos program and teach you how to use it, I hope that it will extend your research. It will add more integrity. It will create more, I guess, value in what you're producing. And it will be, I'm searching for words here because Dr. Allen is my go-to stats guy. He is just amazing when it comes to finding the information that I need. We've researched together, and I'm the person for words. He's the person for maths. And this SPSS Amos product is different to all the other things that I've used in the past because, it was usually regression. This allows you to develop complex path models with direct and indirect effects. It allows us to be more accurate in the modeling of our mechanisms that we're interested in. It also assumes that that our actual variables are indicators of underlying construct. For example, I like school is an indicator of attitudes to school, and we can actually incorporate that measure through this SEMS process, and allows us to be more accurate. And when we're doing research, it's about accuracy, it's about proving, it's about being ethically sound. And through the Amos product, your accuracy goes up, your reliability goes up, and it's a very powerful and intuitive program. And I wish you all the best in learning this product and your research. If anyone has any questions of me, I'm more than happy to take them now.
Yes, anyone have any question, please? Dr. Nadine Campbell is available with us. So please, you can have question to Prof.
You can pop them in the chat as well, if that's easier. No questions.
Actually, so many professors as well, doctors also join, especially from Africa, India, Pakistan, Malaysia, Thailand. So please raise your question.
That's fantastic.
Yes. Advantages of using Amos. Okay, no question, but words of gratitude. This is indeed a 1 in a million chance to attend workshop like this.
It is. When we're talking about advantages of Amos, I think it's an easier product to use. Like I said, I'm a qualitative girl, and when I work with Dr. Allen, I actually can understand what he's talking about.
Okay.
I'm not a stats person, so it is easier to understand. It is producing more reliable and valid data. You can have simple questions like, I like school because I understand that, as opposed to a set of numbers, and come out with information. So it creates, um, when you're using the words, the descriptive and the qualitative information, the quantitative data is absolutely backed up. It's easy to understand, it's intuitive, it's easy to use, and the reliability of your information goes up. And that all helps with the ethics, it all helps with publication, it all helps with, if you're in the corporate space, market research and making money. You know what your customers want.
Yes. Anybody have any
This,
other question? Or what the difference
There's a
between Amos
question,
and
yeah.
Smart PLS? This is very
I
technical
I haven't
question.
used Smart PMLS.
so I'll leave that to Dr. Allam.
Yes, during the time of our theoretical aspects, when I shall go through this, then I shall clarify this. What is the difference between Amos and Smart PLS? When we should choose the Amos and when we should choose the Smart PLS, and what is the differences, and what is the different assumptions or requirement for same Amos or Smart PLS. So during that time, I shall clarify all of this. So maybe within next 1 hour you will get your answer. No problem, inshallah. So
Okay, no worries.
Another
Doctor,
one is
yes,
I have a question. Okay.
yes. Oh, who is this? Johan.
I'm Roxana.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm Roxana from Dhaka. I'm just doing my PhD, starting my PhD. So I'm more curious about that. Is it possible that if I not use too much tools like Amos or advanced tools for psychology, if I use the qualitative research, some few qualitative research for my psychology research, psychology-based research, if I not use too much another tools for this, is it okay if I goes for the qualitative research?
Roxana, that depends on your department and your research question, what you're looking for. So some research you're needing, if you're looking at observation, you might be looking more at qualitative information, right? So that all depends on your research question and what you're trying to find out. Some research are purely statistical and you're looking at quantitative data. If you can do a mixed methodology where you're looking at both quantitative and qualitative, the information is richer. You're getting richer data. It also helps when you come to publish. So when you start doing your journal articles, you can split your papers into quantitative or qualitative or mixed. So it's depending on your question. And so you really should be working very closely with your PhD supervisors and looking at exactly what your particular question is, what you're trying to find out, and what's the best way to prove or answer your research questions. So there's no right or wrong answer. I mean, like I said, I'm not big on statistics. I had some statistics in my PhD. I was looking at negotiation tactics and different tactics being used, which could have been a completely quantitative research. But because my strengths lied in qualitative, I focused on that. But I did do some quant as well, because it just makes, numbers always make your research more valid, because you can't fudge it. Well, you can fudge a number if you can make them up, but we need to be ethical. You get your numbers, you run your numbers, you run it through the system, and whatever that data spits out, is factual, and that's what you work with. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much,
Doctor?
Dr. Nadain. It's a very insightful answer. Thank you very much. Okay, please.
Doctor, excuse me.
Yes.
Excuse me, doctor.
Yes, yes, please.
I have a question to ask. It's about how we justify if, let's say, our model is not too complex. So can we just use regression in SPSS instead of Amos?
Doctor, you will address the question or I should?
Well, again, the choice is up to you. Is it the best thing? So when you're doing your research, particularly for PhDs, you're focusing on a single question, correct? And you're going to decide if those things you're looking at is the outcome. For example, does using Vic Vapor Rub stop COVID, right? So those are the only two things you're looking at. So you can do observation and apply Vic Vapor Rub to 100 people and nobody gets COVID. You can then go, oh yes, my observation. But is that as valid as if you did a survey of 10,000 people and asked them if they used Vic Vapor Rub to stop COVID? If you then take a statistical approach and then you ran the numbers and you can see the variants that are occurring in people using Vic or not, then the numbers are more precise, right? So, and you can go into Amos and use multivariate things. Is it Vic in combination with honey? Making honey tea, does that make COVID go away faster or stop COVID altogether? So it's the question that dictates the research methodology. And if your question is complex, a simple regression is not going to answer it.
Yes. Thank you very much, Doctor. Any more question?
I have a question.
Very good answer. Yes, one of the participants, I think, from raised your hand. Yes, Mudashiru. Dr. Mudashiru, please proceed your question. Dr. Mudashiru, unmute your mic first.
Hello?
Yes. Please open your cam so that we can see you, Doctor.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, come on. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Where are you from?
I'm from Federal University, Dusima, Nigeria.
Okay. Okay. Please.
Africa.
Okay. Okay. Please.
Fantastic.
I would like to thank you for this opportunity, at least to participate in this workshop. I will equally appreciate if this kind of workshop can be recorded and sent to the participants.
Yes, I am recording. At the end, I am recording, Doctor.
At the end of the workshop, so that we can listen to it over and over. I'm using structural equation model for the first time for my students. And I would like to know whether it can be used. I'd like to know how many number of respondents can we have before we can use Amos and SPSS. Thank you.
Dr. Nadain, it's a little bit technical.
Not for me.
Okay, I think I
That's
should
for you,
answer
Dr. Allam. Yes, please.
Yes, according to client, according to author client, she suggested that Amos required the large sample size, meaning that she has given different categories. If the sample size is less than 100, it is we assume that it is a small sample size. If the sample size is in between 100 to 200, it is medium sample size, and if it is more than 200, then it is called the large sample size. So the assumption for the Amos is that it needs large sample size, meaning that your sample size should be more than 200 for using Amos.
However,
okay.
Again, when we're looking at sample size, we need to look at the question, what we're asking, and the group. So we have lots of software and equations out there that would calculate sample size for both qualitative and quantitative research. So while the software is saying 200 is needed, your sample size, again, is dictated by your overall group. So if you were looking at a large company with over 200,000 employees, 200 is not a significant sample size for respondents, right? So while there's a minimum for the software, you need to be cognizant of the minimum for your research and that group that you're sampling.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yes, Dr. Huda Javed, I think from Pakistan. Please, this might be the last question, then inshallah. Okay.
I have a question related to Amos software since I have a background in sciences. So I did not find many papers related to science field who used Amos software. So I want to know the application of Amos software, particularly with reference to the field of sciences. So it will be an addition to my knowledge.
Dr. Nadain, you will address the question, or?
Well, Amos it's fairly new. As I'm doing research and literature reviews, I'm seeing more and more use of this multivariate software. So again, we always have to pay attention about what's going on in our field of study, right? It changes, it's very fluid, and depending on the journals that you want to publish in or what you want to do. I mean, what are you doing in the sciences? My area of focus is management and HRM. So if I'm looking at policy, I know I want to be looking at particular journals. Policy journals don't use statistics. If I'm looking at, and I'm working with papers with Dr. Allam, we're looking at green HRM. If you're looking at Cleaner Journal, you will never, ever, ever find a qualitative article. It's all quantitative, right? So again, the world is your oyster when it comes to research, and it's a very personal thing, and what you want to look at dictates what methodologies that you use, quant or qual, how deep into the qualitative you want to go or how deep into the quantitative you want to go. So remember, this is just a tool to add to your toolbox to help you produce more valid, reliable data when it comes to publishing or doing your thesis, right? So don't get stuck on, I don't see this, I don't see that, because 20 years ago, if I told somebody I was just going to do a lit review and get that published, they'd laugh at me. But today, a systematic literature review is now considered a valid research methodology, right? And people are writing systematic literature reviews today, unheard of 20 years ago. So you could be the pioneer for using this multivariate or Amos in your research in science and be a leader, because that's what you want to be. You want to be a leader in your research. You want to do things differently. So why not dust off a tool or learn a new tool and approach something differently, because that's what's going to get you published.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nadain. And okay, another Dr. Moha and Dr. Nath. Yes, Dr. Nath, please.
Yes, thank you very much for this particular workshop. I am joining from Nigeria. I work with the Polytechnic Ibadan, Nigeria. There is a question in the chat box, and it's been waiting there for quite some time.
I'm so sorry.
Looking at Nvivo and Amos, the differences. That's number one, and that's an observation. Number two, I know that sometimes along the line, it's possible that we have more questions as the workshop progresses. Obviously, I know some other questions will come. But at this particular stage, I'd like to know, yes, I also want to thank the organizers for sending to us some software. Those have been downloaded, and we have this on our system. Now, but what I also want to know is that in the course of this workshop, is it possible that we be taking through the software so that we have some kind of hands-on experience on how to use the software? Now, these are things which are preliminary in this particular workshop, and I love that we attend to this.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Dr. Nat. I can address the Nvivo and Amos. So Nvivo is a qualitative software analysis. What you can do is put in interview questions, you can put in journal articles and create themes. And based on those themes, you can analyze. So if you were doing, just using COVID, if you were interviewing people on different symptoms for COVID, you can put in all your interviews, and then you can then identify the different symptoms, and then it would draw all the responses that are associated with a runny nose or with a sore throat. And then you can do some comparisons and analysis that way. So it's purely qualitative information, while Amos is quantitative. So you're converting those questionnaires into numbers. So it could be on a Likert scale that is being converted into numbers. And I know there's going to be tons and tons of questions going through. However, I've got another engagement that I need to go to. So I was hoping you'd be asking me specific questions around literacy, more of the stuff that I'm involved in. And again, thank you, Dr. Alam is absolutely invaluable to me when it comes to the statistical sides of things. But if anybody has questions for me or want more information on what I do, find me at abidosacademy.com. I'll pop my web address up into the chat, and you can check me out. And hopefully I can help you in that sphere. But Dr. Alam is absolutely phenomenal when it comes to numbers and running the software. So I'm going to take one final question for me, and then I'm going to have to dash to my 2:30 in Sydney meeting.
Okay.
Any other questions
yes,
for me?
Dr. Moha, the last question from Dr. Moha. Yes, raise the question. Yes, Dr. Moha.
Is that Dr.?
Hello. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
My name is. I thank to both the doctor and the lecturer. I'm from Somalia. My question is, I use it Amos, and also I use it Smart PLS. So my question is, what the difference? In my opinion, the Smart PLS is more easier than Amos. So are they same? I can use which I wanna, or there is a difference for using them. Thank you so much.
Dr. Nadain Campbell,
Yeah, that's
this
a technical
question I
question for
should
Dr.
give the
Alam.
answer. And
So I will see you because I do have a 2:30 meeting.
okay.
Good luck, everyone.
Okay, Dr. Nadain Campbell, before you are leaving, I want to keep this your presence in my workshop. I would like to make it memorable for all of us. That's why I will request everyone to have a snap with Dr. Nadain Campbell. So everybody, please open your
Camera's on.
camera so that we can have a we can take a snap for our good memory that once we were with Dr. Campbell. Okay, so please use your cam. Okay. Okay, how can I go? Okay, get gallery view. So thank you very much everyone, mashallah, they open your okay, everybody open their yeah. We can take some snap from here, screen print. Okay, okay, just a minute. Okay, Dr. Okay. Okay.